and fountain pen journey. Now, I have something new to review, and it's not a fountain pen, but it's fountain pen related. Now, these are products from Lochby. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, Lochby, could be Lochby, I don't know, but as far as I'm aware, they are American based, and they reached out to me and said, would you like to do a collab? This isn't a sponsored video, however, I have got a 10% Lochby discount link in my description down below of this video. They sent me these two products for free for review, so quite happy to have received those, so thank you to Lochby for those. So what did they send me? Well, first off, let's get into a bit of background on this. These are pen cases. This is the pen roll that I've been using since I pretty much first started fountain pen journey. I've had this for, oh dear, probably about 6 years now. And this was from Amazon. It's a sort of faux leather, sort of soft pirate map, which I quite like. It's a pen roll, which, and of course all the pens are going to fall out, which, bloody hell. There we go, fountain pen fail, bit of a disaster. Right, let's just chuck everything back into it. So yeah, pen roll, very simple. It cost me about £6. You can still get these on Amazon for £6 if you want a slightly better quality one, up to about 15 quid. So this is what I've been using to take my everyday carry fountain pens to work, and for most parts I'd say it does a pretty good job. I've been using it. Obviously I don't put the expensive pens in here because it has very little protection. It's all very thin. There is some sort of suedette lining. It's quite soft. It holds quite a lot of pens, and the clips are all pretty good because they slide on here pretty well. Clipless pens do have a tendency just to slide out, which is what this bit's for. But even then, if this goes wrapped up and secured with this bit of leatherette thong, sort of pull that tight. If this goes upside down in my bag, sometimes the clipless fountain pens do slide out into the bottom of my bag, and it has got some ink staining on. But overall, yeah, that's what I've been using. Holds a good number of pens, offers very little protection, but it's perfectly functional, does the job. So I was very interested in having several weeks with these Lochby products to see how they compared to this. So let's get into the review. Chuck that over there for now. And the first one that I'm going to review is I'd say it's a pen case. It's called the Quattro. You can see the Lochby tag on there, and it's basically it's waxed canvas. So they say it's sort of, I suppose, splash proof. So I mean it will handle a little bit of moisture, a bit of rain. It's not waterproof by any means. And this is the Quattro, which has a very useful tied on bit of cord there on the YKK zip. Good to see it's not a metal zip, because I hate metal zips. They shred fingernails and also shred pens if they come in contact with them. It works very well with this. So it is called the Quattro because it holds 4 fountain pens. As you can see in here, I've got a Faber-Castell, a Pelican M120, so one of the smallest Pelican fountain pens, and also a Faber-Castell grip. So they all fit in. This is about the size of a Lamy Safari, so this pen's a good indication of the actual size. So they just about fit in there. Would point out that if you use the clip, it's not going to work for every single pen. Sometimes pens get a bit lost in there, so just push that up from the bottom. But the clips generally work, but as you can see, it's a bit close to the top of the zip there, at top of the cap. So I tend to just push them in, and there is quite a bit of space in each one of these pockets. Nice sort of yellow mustard coloured lining. These are available in different coloured canvases. Both of these are the ones that Lochby agreed to send me. There is a sort of Velcro pocket on there, but quite honestly, you might be able to squeeze a sort of pen note, a few notes in there, but not much else. And especially if you've got the thing full of pens, there's not a lot of room when you fold the Quattro back over on itself. And the Quattro on its own costs £31 here in the UK. The Lochby website does adjust to the country that you're in. And to be honest, I use this for carrying the more expensive fountain pens around. There's no hard backing. It's not padded. There is some sort of softness to this, but it is not a padded hard case. So if you have this in a bag, bear in mind it will flex, so it's not going to stop pens from being sort of wiggled, moved and potentially broken that way. So that's the Quattro. I really do quite like it. Now we'll move on to, bearing in mind this is the tool roll from Amazon that I bought years ago. Show you an example of that. So that wraps around like that. There was a sort of medallion thing on the end, but that fell off years ago. I've still got it. Never put the crimp back and reattached it. It doesn't actually need it. So that's the Amazon one. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the comparison to the Lochby Tool Roll, which is this product here. I'll just bring it onto the camera. There we go. So this is the Lochby Tool Roll. As you can see, it's quite a bit larger. It's a flat sort of case. It folds rather than rolls. Whether that's your sort of thing or not, I don't know. I will point out that the problem I have with a lot of soft pen cases, I can't stand kimono pen cases, you know, these lovely material that holds one or two pens and it's just basically a bunch of fabric. It's not very interesting or useful. But this is the tool roll from Lochby. Same colour, same wax canvas, quite big in comparison. Put these one on top of the other, so it's quite a big tool roll or pen case, depending on what you want to put in there. I know that I had a tool roll many years ago at university which used to hold tweezers, scalpels and all sorts of things, probably not very safely, but that's what it was for. So the tool roll, this costs £39 here in the UK, and this holds, you could theoretically squeeze in extra ones, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holds 9 fencing pens, all separated with stitching. There's a flap at the top and at the bottom, so I mean, I suppose you could mess around and put things in, but it holds the pens really nicely. Absolutely need to use the clips. Otherwise you're reliant on the pen length, top and bottom being covered with these two flappy bits. I will point out, where was it? I'm sure I saw a label somewhere. I did see a label, maybe it's on the Quattro. I'm absolutely convinced I saw a label that said made in Vietnam. Absolutely convinced it said that somewhere. Let me just have a quick look. There we go. It was somewhere. So on the tool roll it does say made in Vietnam. So that's where these come from. The tool roll, I really wanted to give this a good trial. Lochby were to be honest, sort of asking how I was getting on, and I did have a few issues. I'll just go over the features, but we do have this same sort of stitching. There is absolutely zero padding. It is literally this mustard yellow lining and then the wax canvas. There is no padding. There is a plastic zipped pocket here, and you could squeeze perhaps a very small narrow notebook in there, or some other bits, pieces, things like that, cartridges maybe, stuff like that. You could zip those into that bit, but it holds a good number of pens, and it will hold very, very long pens as well, very girthy pens. There's a lot of space here. This is a bit elasticated. It's quite I don't know what you want to say, elasticated, but not too soft. And I really love this. I think this is great. There are also pockets here, so I mean, you could cram other stuff down the back, even more pens down the back of there if you so desired. And because of that, and I'll just show you the closing methodology. It sort of folds over on itself, and we've got a big old chunky belt buckle type thing, and there are 4 elastic, well, these aren't elasticated, these are very much fabric, very tough fabric, so you can expand this as big as you like, so you could have a great big chunky tool roll full of all sorts of stuff. Now this thing, this buckle, this is going to demonstrate the issues that I've got with this. I find it really tricky to put in there. You pull it tight, nothing's going to fall out of that, top or bottom, with those flaps in place. Really, really secure, really good. But this buckle, getting it off isn't too bad, but I find putting it back in, inserting it through this, really, really tricky. In fact, when I first unwrapped this, I actually got back to Lochby, and they're very responsive by email, and I said, look, I can't for the life of me figure out how to take this buckle off, because I assumed that you just unbuckle it from there, but you don't, because that is stitched on there, so you can't get that back through there. And I said, a bit of a design flaw, but it isn't, because it was operator error. I didn't realise that you actually had to unhook it like that. At which point I was like, oh, okay, I'll move over from carrying the Quattro as my everyday carry to using the Tool Roll, which very quickly I figured out is tricky. It is tricky. They said that, oh, you have to hold the back of it and angle it a certain way. Yes, you do, but it's still tricky. I do find that loosening up this strap here does help. Now that's got sort of opened, it does slot in, but I will find that after a day's work, this has been laying flat on the desk, roll it up, and then try to put this in. Not always an easy thing. So, I really love it. I think that this Lochby Tool Roll will certainly be taking over from my cheapo old tool pen roll from Amazon. Definitely, I've been using this for many weeks now, and this is kind of getting less and less use. It's kind of got spare pens in at the moment, so I can see how this is going to go. I'm definitely going to use the Lochby Tool Roll for my everyday carry fountain pen. I really do like it. I quite like the fact that it sort of folds flat, feels sturdy. It's got lots of space for other pens. So in here I've got cheap pens, I've got a Hero. I do find that these Parker arrow clips do tend to sort of bite onto this material quite a bit. I've got a Gin Hair X750, I've got a Lochby 3059 and one of these can't even remember what it's called, but yeah. So these are the pens that I'm using quite a lot at work, so I'm really happy with that. Price wise, £39 for the tool roll. I don't know. Value for money is one of those things, it's very subjective. I personally don't think that I would have paid £39 for the tool roll. I think the price would have immediately put me off, and I'd probably gone for, if I was in the market for one of these, an upgraded version of this. But I actually really like it, and I'm very grateful for Lochby sending this to me. The Quattro, £31. I really like it. Once again, it's not a sturdy pen case, and I think if I was just going to go with a 4-pen case that was for more expensive fountain pens, I'd go with something that was solid, so probably an actual pen case, and pay a bit more money for that. But these two products are really good, and together they are actually sold on Lochby's website as the Pen Lover Kit. Now the Pen Lover Kit, so these two products from Lochby in the UK cost £64, currently reduced from £70. So there is, you know, a little bit of a saving there, £64 for the two if you want both of these. So I'll leave the 10% discount link down below in the description. So if you found that interesting, do let me know. I will take it from there. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.